Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Casual Mondays. I'm your host Mr. Legit. Today we're going to be looking at a 1 hour of casual barrows in a mid-range mage setup. So with that being said, let's go head over into the video and take a look at that setup. So starting off, we're going to be starting obviously here at barrows. Few ways to get here. You can teleport using a barrows tab, or you can build a portal for barrows in your player owned house. I'll be using the player owned house method. Let's have a look at the gear. Straight in with an ancestral hat. Now this is a little bit pricey for mid range, but other than that there's not really too many expensive items. This and the Suffering is probably the most expensive, but this is my mid range setup anyway. Going to be bringing the imbued Zamarok God Cape. This is an untradeable item, definitely worth bringing. Increases that magic damage, obviously increases your magic accuracy, so definitely worth bringing. If you don't have 75 magic, go for the normal one. Occult necklace, not too expensive. I'd definitely recommend bringing one of these. Blessing, if you've got a Rada's Blessing, definitely bring that. It does help the prayer bonus. Other than that, we're going to be bringing some fairly tanky gear here with Bloodbark top and bottoms, and that's going to give us, some very good defensive bonuses, so that's why we've gone for that. 140 in stab, as you can see, 124 slash, 156 crush, so overall decent bonuses there. 110 mage, the only thing we're suffering is the range bonus, but it's not too bad overall. So that's the reason we've gone for them. Rest of the gear, obviously, we've got a Book of Darkness, a Trident, we've got Barrows gloves, Eternal boots, and that is basically, that's basically it for the gear, guys. So we'll take a quick little look now at our setup. Inventory setup. We're going to be taking 10 prayer potions, prayer being the main factor for doing barrows, obviously. The thing is that it drains your prayer. We're going to be taking 3 staminas, 3 cram ones for just basic food eats. The rest we're going to be bringing summer pies. We also have in our inventory a rune pouch for collecting the runes in, obviously our house tabs, and a spade. So obviously the prayers we'll use: protect from melee for the melee brothers, protect from range for Carols, protect from mage for Arims, and we're just going to be flicking Mystic Mart. So very basic prayers, very easy bosses. So let's get into the video. I am gonna quickly relog, just because this little timer down here is gonna reset, and then we'll have a more accurate time frame to work on, so we know we're not going over the hour. So I'll quickly do that and let's get into it. So there we go, we're ready, we're relogging, we're ready to start our hour. With a little bit of luck we can get some juicy loot, but yeah, let's get into it. So I'll probably do the first KC in a normal speed, and then probably for the rest of the video, unless we get any juicy items, obviously, we'll speed it up for the rest of the video. But yeah, if we do get some juicy little items, we will check in with you on those chests. But let's fire into it. Varrox is down straight away. We're going to fly on now to Arims. This is the order that I tend to do. I do Varrox first because it's pretty much the only thing that can inflict damage if you're off, even with prayer. So we do that first, then Arims because it's the most prayer draining depending on your hits. After that we do Darok because Darok is the most deadliest off prayer. So we do that. Then depending on prayer, what we've got left, we're either going to go and do Karils. If we've got like less than 20 or 15 prayer points, we'll head to Karils. If not, we'll just go straight to Guffins, then Karils, then Torags, and that's generally the order that I go for. But yeah, we'll get into this video. Hopefully we can get some loot. So we'll take a look at the end of the hour and see just how much GP we've made. And then we can also factor in our supply costs and etc, etc. We're not going to be using too much supplies, to be honest. We've probably got more supplies than we need for an hour's worth of barrows here, but let's see what we get. I mean, ultimately, one thing that we didn't discuss inventory wise that can save a lot of time, but it's a bigger supply investment, is the strange lockpick. So the strange lockpick will allow you to go through any door in the tunnel regardless of, it'll just basically open any door, so you can go the quickest, most direct route to the chest. We're not going to be using that because, like I say, this is kind of a budget series, so for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say people that are on a budget setup aren't going to be investing an extra couple of 100k into strange lockpicks. So for that reason, we're not using them. So this is pretty much like the base kills that you're going to get at barrows. Depending on setup, obviously. I feel like most people should probably be able to achieve this KC, especially with gear. I'm not the most efficient barrows runner. I do make a lot of mistakes and stuff like that. So obviously there will be a lot of improvements to be made on this video. If we do another barrows video in future, maybe we can do it with a slightly better gear or a different setup, or melee barrows or a ranged setup. But for now, we are just going to stick to this mage setup. As you can see, I have ran out of prayer on these first few because I haven't been very diligent with my flicking, but we can just cart the mob round and pretty much destroy them like that for the last few. And we have got, for the first chest, will be a carols. So carols and arims are not preferable inside the tunnel because obviously they've got ranged attacks. And as you can see, there is like little ladders there. Can you see this ladder that I've got like a yellow? I've marked that tile. Well, that'll be a safe spot. And a lot of the corner rooms, I've got these invisible safe spots in as well. And obviously you can test it. You'll be able to see if the NPC pulls around the tile or not anyway. So what I tend to do is just try and get a couple of these kills along as I go for my potential. I like to have above 80% or within the 80% range for potential. I believe that's the best for items, so that's what we go for. Anyway, let's open this chest and kill carols off, and let's get this first loot. Nice and easy, guys, nice and easy. You just basically save your prayer potions for that dose just until you find the boss in the tunnel. That's basically all your prayer potions are here for. Other than that, it's very, very simple. So first chest gonna come in a second. Let us see what we get. I am gonna have to mess about with my inventory here because it's a little bit full on food at the minute. That's why we've got the pouch to put our runes into. There we go, first chest, nothing interesting, just a couple of runes, blood runes, etc. That's why it's always worth getting your potential for, because if you don't get your potential, the likelihood of getting actual blood runes, which will make up the majority of the GP per hour, between blood runes and death runes. If you don't do that, you're more likely to just get chaos runes and mind runes, so it is worth getting the potential. That's why we are going for it. As you can see, we are making a few little mistakes here, running a long way around, but we want to restore our prayer every time. And to be honest, with 50% agility, 50% run energy, I didn't really need to restore my stamina here, but we do anyway. Obviously I've got the stamina pots and blah blah blah, so you don't necessarily have to restore stamina. We don't have a special attack weapon, so that's not something that's necessary. It becomes more necessary if you bring in a range switch to be restoring them stats, but with this setup and the fact that we're using summer pars and stands, I don't necessarily need to do that. It's just the prayer. yeah, we'll speed the video up now anyway as we get into some more kills, hopefully. I don't want to have you guys sat here all day to see a couple of barrows kills, you know what I mean, so we're going to speed it up a little bit. Double time here. And that way our video doesn't last forever. So yeah, at this point, we're just going to get on with the kills. And yeah, if we get anything interesting, we'll check back in with you guys. Obviously, other than that, we'll check in with you at the end of the video and we'll do a total price check. So there we have it, guys. It's the end of the video, and we didn't see any juicy lootations, but we do get ourselves a nice 307k worth of runes. So it's definitely enough to recharge the trident and a little bit of profit in the bank. Supply wise, we didn't really use too much. A couple of prayer potions, a stamina potion, a few pies. So it's one of them you can't always win, and in only an hour of barrows we managed to get 12 chests. So it's one of them you can always come back and do the odd casual hour, and you never know, maybe you'll get lucky. Remember guys, stay safe. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you like it, give it a like. Feel free to comment anything down below, like what you'd like to see next video, or even if you know, if there's a forfeit you'd like to see me do for not pulling an item in a video or something like that, stick it in the comments below. Peace guys.